Hey guys, normally I do an intro, but in this video I'll just cut to the chase because this is really upsetting me as I just learned about this over the last few hours. Gaijin has nerfed boosters and big time. They did not nerf boosters by taking away usage or reducing their effectiveness when used alone, nor are they providing fewer boosters. Rather, they are making booster stacks far less useful than they used to be. Worse still, it's not even in the changelog for the new patch Ixfa Strike, or however you pronounce it. So this said, Gaijin has effectively reduced stacking boosters by a full 33% for some of the smaller boosters, which basically forces you to go through an entire booster, even if it's a 10% booster, before you can go to your next booster, which dramatically hinders the grind. Further, and this is where it gets to be much more noticeable, booster effectiveness is no longer reduced based on the smallest booster in the stack, but rather it seems to be a flat percentage. For example, before this patch, if you used a 10% booster and a 150% booster at the same time, you could expect the 150% booster to be at 146% rather than 150%. Not a huge decrease, still extremely usable. Now its effectiveness is dropped to 90% for that same 150% booster if you use it in a stack with any other booster, including the 10% booster. This is absolutely huge in regards to Battle Pass because, as many of you have noticed, Battle Pass gives you tons of boosters. Tons of boosters before this newest patch meant that grinding for new vehicles would be easier. Gaijin has effectively stopped that and told no one about it. You have to find it out for yourself. Just as bad if you buy boosters with golden eagles, this change means that your golden eagles are essentially now worth less, effectively causing inflation while again, Gaijin did not tell anyone about it in any changelog or anything. This forces you to now totally use up all of your small boosters if you've already selected one, which could take upwards of 10 to 20 plus matches before you can even think about using a larger booster. You will quite literally lose booster effectiveness now if you have a 10% booster and try to use anything larger than a 15% booster along with it, as the loss in effectiveness is substantially larger than any 10 or 15% booster. A good way to counter this is to use the large single-use boosters and then switch to the smaller multi-use boosters, but this is not friendly to people who are on a time crunch. I know that for myself, I can hardly play on the weekends. So when I notice I have some boosters left, I stack them all into 2 to 4 matches so that even with a slight reduction of effectiveness, I could still mostly benefit. This is no longer the case, as you now need to again space them all out for them to be mostly, if not entirely, effective. Luckily, I do have some footage from an old video that I made explaining boosters that definitively shows how hard Gaijin has nerfed booster stacks, in case you wanted video proof. I released a video a few weeks ago that, while I do still stand by it, talked about how we are oftentimes too hard on Gaijin and to appreciate War Thunder for what it is. While I still do very much like to play War Thunder, the fact that they totally nerfed boosters and did so without mentioning it in any of the changelogs or any other official posting is absurd and a slap in the face to the players, especially after tons of people have paid for Battle Pass with the expectation that they could stack boosters effectively. Between this, the Leopard 2PL, which is a top tier vehicle that you can now unlock with GE, and the worsening server situation, I have to say that I'm very disappointed in you, Gaijin. This is incredibly sneaky and, more than most other things I've ever seen any game dev do in recent memory, really hurts the player base, especially those that have spent their hard-earned money on Battle Pass. And I'm saying this as a guy that literally 4 days ago applied to be a partner for War Thunder. Shame on you, Gaijin. While I still will be producing content for War Thunder and still very much sing my praises for this unique game where they are warranted, I will say that this is one of the most sneaky, underhanded things I've seen in a very long time from any game developer. You took people's money for Battle Pass and without telling them, made their purchase far less useful. That is underhanded, unfair, and borderline despicable. They took people's money for a product and devalued that product a few days later. Shame on you, Gaijin. For a game that I've defended for so long, this feels like a slap in the face. 7+ years in this game and you do this now? Really? I'll say it one more time. Shame on you, Gaijin.